back to Kite Academy for Lesson 3, Module 5, where we're together with Michael Litt to talk about nurturing in today's digital world. Michael, first question. What is the difference between nurture versus initial outreach?
Difference between first outreach and nurture. I think, and we've said this before in a previous module, marketing's job is to essentially provide the air cover for sales. And so sales and marketing alignment is a very important thing for organizations to achieve. And I think you want to be a sales rep that accelerates your way through your career, spend time with the marketing department and help them help you. Nurture programs, from a marketing sense, not necessarily a sales focused nurture, are generally automated outreaches that happen. Newsletters exist in nurture programs, etc. So the reality is a nurture could be the first contact to a client. The first outreach could be a cold outreach from a salesperson. It could be the first time a salesperson contacts someone that's raised their hand through a nurture program and said, hey, I'm interested in learning more, I want pricing, I want a demo, etc. And so in today's world with very sophisticated nurture programs, you don't actually want the first outreach to necessarily be a sales outreach, but marketing never generally has enough leads or enough contacts in the database to satisfy the growth needs of the organization. And so first contact, first outreach can absolutely be run by sales. But again, in a well-oiled machine, there's lots of air cover being provided and the two are pretty synonymous.
Yeah, so it sounds like as soon as a prospect has indicated some level of interest or some level of engagement, their intentions are known, that's when it becomes initial outreach as opposed to nurture. Awesome. And why is it so important that we nurture our prospects?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where we are constantly busy, right? The same people that are buying software are also the people that are buying cars and buying consumer goods and sneakers and watches and those types of things. And if you think about your Instagram feed, you clearly see the same brands on a regular basis. And what they're doing is nurturing you with this feeling that you're missing out by not wearing their product or driving their cars in those specific use cases. Same thing goes for software, right? The idea of a nurture is to always be present in that person's mind as a solution to a problem that they're having in their organization that's going to deliver them to the promised land. And so in today's world where there's so much noise, you have to be consistently in that person's face because you don't actually know when they're going to have that conversation in their workplace, which actually drives them to the point of reaching out to you and having that demo or having that pricing conversation or just learning more about what you might offer. And so a good nurture program doesn't involve too many contacts, but doesn't involve too few. But the thing it must always do is provide value, right? A buy now nurture is not an effective nurture for higher value and more time commitment involved purchases. But value such as this content or this course that we're producing right now, I think is a really great concept of a nurture program because it's providing value, it's educating, and the people viewing it, arguably, probably at this point in time, if they haven't looked at Vidyard, I'm not doing my job. And same thing goes for Kite. I mean, wearing these t-shirts is an aspect of a nurture program in of itself. Harder to track, but still a nurture program.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's about just being intentional about how you're pulling things together and remembering that, we are all humans and we're all going about our very busy lives doing very different things. And when that moment comes that I want to take that next step, the products that are nurturing me are top of mind. And it's about us harnessing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And same thing goes for what was mentioned in a previous module, consensus-based selling, right? You have to be nurturing all the people that are involved in that decision-making process because you want your brand and the solution that you provide to the problem to be relevant to all of them. And so when person A says to person B, hey, you know what? I think Vidyard can actually solve this problem we have. Person B was like, I was thinking the same thing because the nurture program's hitting them and is targeted accordingly.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so if nurture is this world of marketing, why on earth is it in a sales course?
Yeah, so I mentioned this earlier. You want to excel in your sales career. I mean, part of it is obviously quota attainment, but the way you get there is by advising marketing on the types of programs that your customers want to see. And as a salesperson, you are the voice of the customer, right? You're having these interactions regularly. You got to be giving that feedback. But also as a salesperson, you got to be running your own parallel nurture stream, right? If you've got a key account, and that key account, based on your CRM, is watching video content, is downloading white papers, is attending webinars, that means that they're actually a pretty high quality lead because they're engaged with your brand. As a salesperson, you can reach out to them, right? That's what that data is for, and say, hey, how did you like that webinar? Was it relevant to you? I'd love to pass on your feedback to my marketing team. Or I noticed that you watched this video. Are you interested in learning more about these features, right? A salesperson is kind of the front line of the nurture program. And if it's well set up, you can use the information from marketing's nurturing program to educate your nurturing program to those prospects specifically.
So it sounds like a ton of internal teamwork, the exact same way that the people who are looking to buy your application or buy your software are running their own internal processes, and they have their own committees. So it's this meeting of teams from different organizations.
Yeah, we call it marketing. It's the alignment of sales and marketing. It's a very rare, mythical beast in the world of technology-based sales, but every CEO wants their company to have it because, again, it is this aggregation of the perfect timing, the perfect conversations, the most relevant conversations, and actually being able to solve the problem and inevitably complete the sale.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us. Please stay tuned for our next lesson where we'll be talking about meeting the buyer. That's lesson number 4 with the Kite Academy. Thank you so much for joining us.